Hi, I'm Ryan Richardson, member of the elite group with HomeSmart. This is your 2016 end of the year report. Many people are nervous right now with the market and the big elections and the feel of the unknown with our new president. Things like, what is the stock market going to do? How is it going to affect our housing market and economy? Many predicted on the night of the election that the stock market would collapse. Huge drops in values and advice of not to buy, it's our next depression, etc. Then when Trump was elected, nothing happened. In fact, our market continued to increase. If you take the approach of the wait and see, don't buy until the market collapses because the eventual bubble is going to burst, or just simply have that doomsday mindset and continue to rent, the market is going to pass you by. Multiple news sources across the nation, not just your Arizona news sources, all across the US, are actually selecting Phoenix to be the #1 market in the nation in 2017. Realtor.com, which is the real estate giant, has selected Phoenix to top Los Angeles for the #1 market in the entire nation for this year. That just gets me absolutely so excited, but I'm still skeptical. Do have to look at the data. I don't want to listen to just the hype or the doomsday articles even that could be trying to sell me something, because at my disposal are facts, specific data points that show me what the next year is going to do. I personally have a few rental properties, so I always watch it closely, not only for my clients, but for my own personal assets as well. First and foremost, I want to look at the market trends. Did values across the board go up? Have they slowed down, etc.? And right away, I noticed that they have not. Phoenix shows currently an average price per square foot of $148.49, which is a fantastic, healthy increase of 7.4% in 2017. Let me start off with saying that is such a great number. It's a very solid number that shows me a healthy increase, especially looking at the way the graph looks. It's not a stock market up and down, it's a steady rise that goes up almost evenly every single month. It's absolutely perfect. This makes a market predictable. A predictable market is a safe, healthy market. Peoria saw a 5.3% increase to $130.63 per square foot. Glendale is 6.9% to $123.29. Goodyear, a 6% increase to $119.75. Surprise saw an increase of 6.5% to $112.92. Litchfield Park actually saw a 6.6% increase to $118.84, which is actually an interesting stat. Litchfield Park is seen as one of the more expensive homes in the West Valley, which when you look at the price per square foot, you start to think it's actually one of the more affordable areas in the valley, especially when you're sitting there with Phoenix at $148.49 per square foot. However, many of the homes in Litchfield Park are your larger, single-story, 3,000 plus square feet, gorgeous homes, which places Litchfield Park's median price right now at $284,000. Phoenix, on the other hand, has a large mixture of homes, given their median price at only $230,000. So sometimes the price per square foot is not exactly indicative on how much an area is selling for. It's a great starting point, but it's not your entire market snapshot. Larger homes always sell for a little less price per square foot than smaller homes in the same area, causing price per square foot to go up a bit in areas that have a few more smaller homes over those with larger homes. So now back to our value increase in price per square foot. Some of our East Valley areas also saw some significant increases. Mesa had a 5.7% increase to $131.11 per square foot. Gilbert at 5.3% to $137.46 a square foot. Chandler actually went up 6.2% increase to $147.29. And everybody always wants to know what Scottsdale is doing, where you go through $500 of real estate every 2 steps you take. They saw values increase 2.6% to $234.30. Paradise Valley still being the most expensive area at a huge $346.58 per square foot. Some of the highest increases that we actually saw in value were out at Buckeye at 8.8% at $103. more and more people willing to make that drive. As our inner cities grow, more people go to those outer cities where traffic isn't as congested. The longer you drive doesn't seem quite as bad anymore if you aren't stuck going 5 miles an hour. Plus, the inner cities hit certain price points. More people are willing to drive a little farther to find that affordable home. Then you look at Avondale, whom I actually thought was going to be our highest after seeing they had a full 9% increase in values. I thought they took the crown. They were the highest in the valley. But then I remembered that old saying behind respect your elders comment that everybody always says. They are the experienced ones. They are the ones that have been through it all, lived through the most mistakes, so they've had the most success. Well, they are schooling all of us youngins still and doing something right as Sun City actually takes the crown for 2016 as an unbelievable 10.2% increase in price per square foot last year. For comparison purposes, you say if you owned a typical 2,000 square foot home in Sun City, that 10.2% increase in value made you $19,740 just in equity last year. Talk about a huge benefit over renting, as that's not even including your monthly payments paying off your mortgage. That's just simply increase in value. So with all these increases year after year, I get that question, Ryan, when is the bubble going to burst? Values have increased every year and at some point they're going to go back down, so I'm too concerned and not going to buy this year. And let me tell you, if that's your approach, you're going to be waiting a very long time. We're not even close to the same market conditions we saw in 2005, where there was the big bubble. If there was anything good to come from that horrible time when so many lost their homes and were upside down, it's that we were able to learn from our mistakes, of course, but also compare that data to see if we have any similar trends to avoid and prepare for anything that may be similar in the future. But let me tell you, there is absolutely nothing similar to the bubble of the mid-2000s. Right away, when you look at your average price per square foot in Phoenix, in March of 2005 is where you start to see that spike. It hit its peak only a year and a half later in September of 2006. You saw a 47.9% increase in value in that small time span. No market can hold an increase like that. So your peak was at $179.77 per square foot. Then you look at current increase in values. We started in December of 2011 and all the way to December of 2016. So 5 years later, we're still only at $148.49. Still plenty of room to grow, and what a difference that our trend is showing over that steady increase year over year rather than jumping almost 50% in just a year. This shows a healthy market, one that could sustain itself because you don't have that sudden burst in values. Then you look at things like supply. If you've seen my previous reports, I'm a big believer in supply and demand. The higher demand than supply, and you enter a seller's market where values continue to increase because people are more willing to pay for the homes that are available. In a market where supply is higher than the demand, you're actually in a buyer's market. Values traditionally stay level or begin to decrease because there are more options to a buyer and they can haggle and negotiate for a lower price since they have multiple properties to choose from. So we look at a statistic to determine supply by a category called months of supply. Essentially what this does, it takes our current homes on the market plus new listings and compares how many sales we've had that month to see how many homes we have on the market and how many months it would actually take to get through all of those homes if, of course, no new homes came on the market at that time. And also that the homes continue to sell at the same pace. It's a good way to just determine current supply. So Phoenix right now, right away shows us that our current supply or active homes is at 3.6 months. So it would take 3.6 months for all those homes to sell that are currently on the market. You have your standard slight increase in December, and then our summer hits and more people move and buy homes are bringing down the inventory even more. It's why our summers traditionally see the highest increase in values. So you wonder, what exactly does 3.6 months mean? Is it a lot or not that much? 3.6 months in inventory is actually a very strong seller's market. That is a low inventory. Check out the difference here in 2007. when it was a buyer's market and values began to drop drastically. Right away, there is a huge difference. 18.3 months of supply sitting on the market. And surprise, it was 18.9 months. Goodyear, 20.9 months, almost 2 years. Compare that to the 3.6 months currently in Surprise and 3.2 months in Goodyear. This shows there is a strong, steady amount of sales in comparison to those that hit the market, keeping the supply low and the values in a steady increase. Lastly, and probably the strongest piece of data that I watch is called the Cromford Index. It's from the Cromford Report, and this is a piece of data that takes literally every single piece of data in the real estate market: inventory, price per square foot, sales price, demand, supply, everything, and compiles it into this statistic that is able to help determine our current market. Above the balance line is a seller's market. Below is a buyer's market. Now the interesting thing is the huge increase in index back in 2005. This was indicative of our huge burst in prices. The craziest part about this is the exact opposite fall in the end of 2005 numbers, nearly a year before the big market crash. This measurement predicted that those values would fall. The black line, which is the balance, is a good thing. When it drops as low as you see in the beginning of 2006, that is throwing red flags and some serious signs of what was to come. So I'm currently looking at what the current market index shows for the end of 2016, and it's much of the same that has been in the last 5 years. A steady seller's market showing low supply and values increasing. That will only help now, of course, with the news of the FHA lowering their mortgage insurance premiums. Now demand increases because the more buyers, the better, so more of these homes can continue to be purchased and getting more and more families into home ownership. So after all of these statistics and numbers, I wholeheartedly agree. We are in for a very exciting 2017, and all signs point to the continued increase in values in a very healthy and possibly #1 market in the nation. If you ever want specific numbers on your area, let me know anytime. I love watching these numbers and always will keep you informed. I can tell you with complete confidence to enter this year and our market is as healthy as ever, and all signs point to it continuing to be that way through all of 2017. Have an amazing year, and remember, I am so excited to be your real estate source for life.